Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to unbox the Disney Alice in Wonderland box by Sophie and Toffee. And this box has a really gorgeous cover with some foiling and this lovely artwork. So let's have a look inside. On the inside we are greeted by this lovely box design, which I think is really cute. And when we open up the tissue paper, the first thing we of course see is the booklet, which also has this really lovely artwork. Now let's have a look at the items. And first up we have these playing card canes, and these are double-sided playing cards, basically all aces. And next up we have these pigment powders. We have a brown, a goldish yellow, a blue, a green and a white. And they look a little bit like mica powders, and I'm sure they will have the same pearly effect. And we also get this really lovely embed sheet in color, and the designs are so cute. Next up we get some earring hooks and jump rings in gold, and I know that one of the mold has some tiny little charms that can be made into earrings. And coincidentally it's right on top, it's this one, and it says something like the Drink Me bottle or the Cheshire Cat. Not sure if I'm saying that right. And these are really cute, and I'm sure that Alice in Wonderland lovers will love making earrings out of them. And we also get one of these like keychain chain things, and of course some UV resin for silicone molds, and some 1:1 ratio 2-part resin. Next up we have a bottle of this lovely pink star glitter, and it is such a pretty glitter. I love the effect it has. And we also get some bezels with the typical Disney tag. So we have Cheshire Cat, we have the Queen of Hearts, we have the caterpillar, and we have the way signpost. You know what I mean. And next up we have this silicone mold for the base of the signpost, and it has this part in the middle, this rectangular, for putting the post, and the mold for the signpost is this one, and we can see all of the signs, which I think is really lovely idea. And of course we have the post that goes inside the hole of the base. And lastly we have this shaker mold in shape of the Drink Me bottle, and it comes with this flat Alice charm and a Drink Me label. And I'm really excited about this one because I think the idea of this shaker mold with 2 parts is really great. Now that we have all the items, let's have a look inside this lovely booklet. And on the first 2 pages we can see all of the items we get inside, and we can see some color design ideas for the mold, especially for the tiny earring mold. I think this is great, so you can maybe also see a bit more what should be what. And then on the next side we get some instructions, which I think is really lovely, especially for beginners, and it explains how to make the Drink Me shaker bottle. And then in the next pages we get an instruction for the signpost. So let's start with our first project, and I chose to make the bottle first. So I'm starting with the cork plug part, and I'm just painting it with the brown pigment and a standard painter's brush. And after that I'm using a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol and I'm cleaning off all of the excess that I got on the parts where I didn't want them. And then I used all of the UV resin that came with the box just to fill those bottles. I know you can or should probably use 1-to-1 resin, but this UV resin worked like a charm. And since I'm not making the Alice charm or the little earring charms, I don't mind using up all of my UV resin. I didn't want to make my project Alice in Wonderland themed. Instead, I made it fairy in a bottle themed, so I found these lovely rainbow effect inlays that I put inside a layer of UV resin, and then I just cured it. I also mixed some blue and white pigment from the pigments in the box in some water, and this is for making a two-tone shaker. And then I'm just using some glitters that I have laying around and I'm filling it inside of the bottle, and afterwards I'm just adding some of the blue water and some shaker oil. And then I'm just going around all of the edges thoroughly with my silicone tool, and I'm making sure to spread UV resin all over this piece so it will seal properly. And I also put some UV resin on top of the mold, but sadly some of the shaker oil must have leaked in between, so it didn't cure properly. So I made a second one, and this time I sealed it off beforehand, and then I decided to fill it in with a hole. So I'm just using one of the shaker oil bottles from Sophie and Toffee with this really fine nib, and I'm adding some shaker oil and my blue water mixture before sealing it off with some UV resin. And while that is hardening, let's make the signpost. And for this one I decided to go with a really light see-through brown. And I'm using the 1-to-1 ratio resin. And I mixed a little too much, so I filled the rest into the bottle mold also. For some reason the recording got lost, but I painted the base green and painted the signs with this darker brown, and then I added the signs to random sides, and as you can see I drilled some holes and inserted these like jewelry pins to make it look like it's held up by some nails or something like that. And I really like the effect. And I think it makes it way more stable. And the reason why I chose to place designs this randomly and not like on top of each other on one or two sides of the post is because I actually want to make a jewelry holder out of this. So I drilled some holes in some of the signs for holding earrings, and I positioned them so I can hang on some hanging earrings onto the signs, just, you know, using the curvature of the signs themselves. And here you can see some examples of my earrings hanging on the post, and I think it turned out super lovely. I love it, and I'm using this all the time to hold all of my earrings. It's super useful and it looks really pretty on my table. And of course we have the shaker, and I love playing with it. And I think this two-tone shaker effect is so fun. So let's rate my first box of 2022. Overall, I really liked all of the molds and ideas they brought into this box. The bottle shaker is definitely really lovely, and it doesn't even have to be Alice in Wonderland themed. You can put anything inside you want, and I just think the design is very clever with the two halves. Now, as for the signpost, I also think that's really lovely, and I'm sure you can make your own signs, maybe out of cardstock or something like that if you don't like the Alice in Wonderland theme. And even then you don't have to place like the Wonderland sign onto the signpost, and I think it definitely makes a really lovely display, and in my case it makes a really lovely earring holder. And I also think the pigment choices were definitely great, and I love the glitter and the little cards. They definitely not only fit Alice in Wonderland, either you can use them for any project you want. So in my opinion, this was a very well curated and versatile box, not only for Alice in Wonderland lovers, but also for people who just like to make projects with these molds. Anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about the projects in this box and if you've gotten the box yourself. I also have some great news for you guys, because I finally decided to make a referral code for all of you, so you can get 10% off on the Sophie and Toffee website, and that gives me some points for also getting some % off when I'm buying stuff. So feel free to use it. I will leave it in the description down below. Anyways, I hope you had a great start into 2022, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye!